Guy Ritchie just dropped Mobland with Pierce Brosnan earlier this year, and it's got everyone talking. But here's the thing. Ritchie's been on this incredible journey that spans 3 decades, from shaggy-haired British upstart to Hollywood director and back again. I've written extensively about this man's career evolution, and what struck me most is how he's managed to keep doing exactly what he loves while the world changed around him. So let's dive into the wild ride that's been Guy Ritchie's filmmaking career. The British genius. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Picture London, 1998. Nobody's heard of Guy Ritchie yet, but he's about to explode onto the scene with his debut feature. Lock, Stock arrives like a lightning bolt. All fast cuts, overlapping dialogue, and criminals who talk like they're narrating their own action figures. What made this different? Ritchie had this brilliant idea: make gangsters boring. Not boring in a bad way, but real boring. These weren't slick American mobsters in expensive suits. These were working-class Londoners who happened to steal cars and sell drugs. And it felt authentic. The film opens with this incredible card game sequence. Ritchie's not showing us the cards first. He's showing us faces, hands, tension. That's signature Ritchie. The jump cuts make your heart race even when nothing's happening. In my book, I explore how Ritchie's background in music videos shaped this approach. Every cut is rhythmically perfect. Every scene has a beat. Snatch, perfecting the magic. 2 years later, Ritchie's back with Snatch, and he knows he's got the magic formula. This time, he's juggling more storylines than a circus performer, but somehow it all clicks. Brad Pitt, Jason Statham, Dennis Farina, you've got Brits, Americans, and Italians all speaking in Ritchie's rapid-fire dialogue style. It's like every character has been given the same speech coach from the school of cool British sarcasm. The gypsy boxing match becomes this beautiful metaphor for the whole film: raw, unpredictable, and absolutely thrilling. Pure Ritchie gold. What I love about Snatch is how it feels improvised even though it's carefully choreographed. That's the secret sauce of early Ritchie, making the extraordinary feel completely natural. The Hollywood leap. Now here's where things get interesting. Ritchie's suddenly a Hollywood director, and Hollywood wants him to play their game. Swept up in the love of Hollywood, he directs Swept Away, a remake of a good old movie. It was not accepted well, and Ritchie learns a hard lesson about staying true to his vision. The Hollywood. Finding the balance. First Revolver in 2005, then Rock'n'Roller in 2008. See Ritchie back in familiar territory, but partly with Hollywood contribution. The budgets got bigger, but the Ritchie DNA is still there. The same quick edits, the same criminal underworld, just with more twisted plots and much more twisted minds. Then comes Sherlock Holmes, probably the most surprising pivot of Ritchie's career. Who would have thought the guy who made crime films about Cockney criminals would tackle Arthur Conan Doyle's famous detective? The genius is that Ritchie's style perfectly suits Holmes. The deductive process becomes a visual spectacle. When Holmes is thinking, Ritchie's editing style makes us think along with him. It's crime film mechanics applied to detective work. In my analysis of Ritchie's evolution, I realized he wasn't abandoning his roots, he was proving how versatile his techniques could be. The jump cuts that worked for London criminals work just as well for Victorian detective work. Then a Sherlock sequel in 2011 with the same atmosphere. For years later, a very exciting spy movie, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., with Mr. Witcher. Then King Arthur with a huge budget and an even huger flop, The Beautiful Aladdin with Big Willie. Then almost a decade later, after the first Robert Downey Jr. movie finally came, the real gem, The Gentleman with a lot of big names. The Gentleman and The Return. So 2019 hits, and The Gentleman arrives like a proper British crime film should. Ritchie's back in his comfort zone, and it's glorious. This feels like Snatch 2.0. Same energy, same style, same brilliant casting, with Matthew McConaughey perfectly cast as the American criminal trying to fit into London's criminal hierarchy. What makes The Gentleman special is how it feels like Ritchie had fun making it. The chemistry between the cast, the playful dialogue, the visual style, everything clicks. This is what happens when a director gets to make exactly the film he wants to make. The series made from the movie is a must-watch too, which debuted on Netflix in the beginning of 2024. In 2021, Ritchie directed another gem for gangster film lovers, The Wrath of Man with Jason Statham, a revenge movie with also a lot of stars. Then in 2023 came Too Quick But Good piece of work, the heist-like Operation Fortune, and The Warish the Covenant with also a lot of stars. Mobland and The Current Moment. The current chapter, which brings us to Mobland, 2025. Pierce Brosnan is back, but this time as the head of a crime family rather than James Bond. Riches come full circle in the best possible way. The interesting thing about Mobland is how it feels both familiar and fresh. Rich is still using his trademark style, the quick cuts, the overlapping dialogue, the morally ambiguous characters. But there's something more mature about it, more refined. What strikes me watching Mobland is how Riches never stopped being the same filmmaker who made Lock, Stock in 1998. The techniques evolved, the budgets grew, but the core DNA is identical. That's the mark of a true artist, finding your voice and never losing it. The bigger picture. Here's what fascinates me about Guy Ritchie's career. He's never stopped being a London filmmaker. Even when he was making Hollywood blockbusters, the sensibility remained distinctly British. The humor, the character types, the way violence and comedy intertwine, it's all there. In my work exploring Ritchie's career, what emerges is the story of someone who never compromised on what made him unique. Yes, he tried other things, but when it mattered most, he returned to his roots. The lesson for any creative person is this: your authentic voice is your greatest asset. Ritchie could have kept making Lock, Stock sequels forever, but he pushed himself, learned new things, and came back stronger. That's the journey of every artist who wants to last more than a moment. So next time you watch Mobland, remember you're watching a filmmaker who's been perfecting his craft for more than 25 years. The journey from Lock, Stock to Mobland isn't just about Guy Ritchie. It's about the power of staying true to your vision while never stopping learning. What do you think is Ritchie's most underrated film? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the evolution of one of Britain's most distinctive directors, you'll love my book that explores the psychology behind filmmaking choices.